Hello, IK here. Welcome to More About Promise. Here is Ajax jQuery again. We can see two parts. This is one part where is HTTP GET request and response. But after that, second part is success and function data, and in that HTTP request response, in object response there is properties data. In that data is payload, is all post array, and this function data in parameter of this function, we have parameter data of this function, and in the body we have manipulation with that data. And we can see one part is HTTP communication between browser and server, and the result of that is object response, and in that object response there is parameter data. In that data is all access, of course, if all is all right. But after that we have property success and function with the data as a parameter, and from that parameter we take all post and take in this variable, and that post coming in HTML structure, and altogether HTML structure and all post would be, thanks to loop 4, would be in variable response, and here variable response append to HTML element post. Again, we have two parts. One part is hypertext transfer protocol, GET method, request response, and other is function data and manipulation with that data. Hypertext transfer, I look at it like a separation concern. This part work only hypertext transfer protocol, and request, response, object coming in browser, but in that response we have status OK or number 200, and can be other part. But now we must, and we have response object in that response from server, and we must take it data from that response, and function data. If success, we have function data. Of course, if error, we will have message of error. But that function data manipulate with our data. Also in a promise. It was before promise. Ajax, jQuery use Ajax. And after 2015, we have JavaScript 6. We have promise, object promise go in JavaScript. And now we can look here. Excellent. It is without Redux, but we concentrate on that. Here is very clear. Axios library get method of Axios, and there is a web address of our project post 1. But look at now, .10. It means a get method will create request, and in that request we have response. It means this is one part. this is one part, get request response, but when response coming back, we have response, that response go in hand of promise. Like their function, data and manipulation, here is promise. And this method of 10 is from promise, but it means, writing like this, it means that asynchron function, get, axios.get, return object promise, need it. And that object promise, there is a method 10. In that method 10, there is a parameter arrow function, and parameter of arrow function is response, and in the body we manipulate with response data, because in response.data is payload, is complete array from server. And we manipulate, here is manipulation was immutable changes, immutable way changes state post with function set post. Excellent, here is very, but now JavaScript development go up, and the last involved asynchron await. When we have keyword asynchron await, we don't need method 10 of promise. But repeat again here. Separation of concerns. This request, HTTP request response, is one task. It is task communication and get array, get response object. And it is enough. It is separation of concerns. And promise, we need promise for other concern, separation of, and it is manipulation of data. Request, response is one task. Promise, take that response was coming in response, request response communication, coming response object, and promise take it, of course, if all is okay and if we have that promise, that response, take it response, take data from and give in process of manipulation with data. Here is manipulation only this. That manipulation in our concept now is always about mutate state. And now, when we know for that two task and separation of concerns that understand promise, why we need promise, we can go to see the newest coding. Here is with async keyword and await. Await here changes means await promise, and means and with promise we have 10 method, but we don't write it. We write here as it is synchronized process. It thanks to asynchron await. 10 method always call back. Look at in the parameter of 10 method is arrow function, and parameter of arrow function is that response. Again, repeat, response, what is the result of asynchron function axios.get, request response. That object response is resolving it is resolving of promise object. It is used by 10 method of promise object. Object promise have also a catch method if we have error, and promise catch that error message of that error. And it is two process. Back here we don't see 10. Of course 10 and 10 there is callback function. This is arrow function is callback function. Callback function. Here we don't need callback function because of asynchron await keyword. It is last version of writing asynchron process. And of course, return response data, it is return of this arrow function, but arrow function, in body of this arrow function, we have Axios get request response, and that response coming here, but that response take promise object, and give it in process, in manipulation of data. It means that return response data and this response data go through 10 method, but we don't need write it. And that response data go to reducer, to extra reducer, when it is fulfilled. When it is fulfilled, we have action payload. It is array from mock server. That action payload coming here, and we concat it payload to state post, initial state post. Here is writing assignment like traditional. We assign state.post, we assign a new value. It is impossible. Here we must immutable mutate. It means that we must create copy, and to that copy we can concat payload, and we have a new state. But for us, for less coding, thanks to Redux.js toolkit last version, and the function from what we have from that, like create slice, we have in background IMER library, and that IMER library create copy of state post, and immutable way changes that copy, and that copy with the concat of payload is a new state. Here is a manipulation of data. Here again, and it is important for all asynchron request response here. Okay, in next video I spoke about create asynchron tank. We step by step we go from Axios get and Axios get return promise, asynchron await permit us to write code as it is synchronized programming, as classic traditional way, and we know that Axios.get is request, response, it is separation of concerns. Axios.get have one task, request, response. If all is okay, we have response, and that response go to promise, and promise through method 10 give it in manipulation of data. But here there is no 10, there is no callback function, but there is only return response data, thanks to asynchron await keyword. And now in the next video we can explain a role of create asynchron tank, a role of a fetch post function, tank function, a function action creator. Thank you for watching this video.